What's going on, everyone? After weeks of players clamoring, begging, pleading for Sorceress to come with the release of the Western version of Lost Ark, it's happening. Actually, yeah. Sorceress is coming to the NA and EU release of the game. However, it's coming at a slight price. Now, one thing that they have remained adamant about is only having 15 classes. And I fear that NA and EU got too greedy, hoping that they would just add Sorceress in without taking anything else away, and that we'd have 16 classes on release. Well, yeah, that's not happening. We're not going to get 16 classes. Sorceress is coming, but they're replacing a class in its stead. So 15 classes is still what we're staying with for release, but we are getting the newest class that released in Korea. However, the Sorceress is replacing Summoner. So anybody who was looking forward to playing Summoner, well, now you don't get to, and I'm sorry. That's the price that they're making people pay. So we are actually not starting with two of the mage original core classes, Summoner and Arcana. Those classes are not going to be available in NA and EU on release. Instead, we will be having Bard and Sorceress. Little surprised by this. I genuinely did not think that we were going to get Sorceress on release, but that's because I did not think they would add it in on top of everything else. I did not foresee whatsoever the absolute possibility of them completely taking out Summoner and putting in Sorceress in place. That wasn't something that even crossed my mind. I had no idea that that would be something that they would even consider doing. I thought for sure 100% Summoner would remain no matter what. And that's why I didn't think we would see Sorceress. At this point, anything goes with the classes now with Smilegate and Amazon with what they're doing. Who knows what classes we get in what order post-release. Typically, it's been Lance Master. That usually came first as the first new class, but who knows now at this point? It could be anything. It could be Reaper that we see next for all we know. But looking at this, so we are getting Sorceress. They even made a Lost Ark Heroes of Arkesia Sorceress little video that they've been doing for the classes. They talk about the abilities here, that it's going to, just basic abilities to showcase the Incinerate, Frost Explosion, Ice Arrow, Lightning Burst. But yeah, so right here they talk about it. Their version of Lost Ark is still going to include 15 classes on launch. They are very adamant about that. They do not want to add more than 15 classes total. They do say, while our version of Lost Ark does not yet contain all 20 plus classes, we wanted to ensure that we included content that is new and exciting alongside some old favorites of players. Sorceress is the newest class to be added to Lost Ark, having launched in Korea in August of 2021. So we're very excited to be able to share this class and Striker with our players. So they just go on to talk a little bit about like what type of class it is, being range DPS. They felt that there was too many melee, I suppose, but all they do is exchange a range for a range. But from the earliest days of Lost Ark, they talk about the gender locking, and going forward, while there are still gender locked classes, they are looking forward to bringing more of the ungender locked classes in the future that release in Korea. But just to show you guys some of the abilities that there are here, you can find them on the website. So we'll put a link to all that in the description for you guys. But the 4 abilities that they actually have here: Incinerate, to show it off a little bit. So here we have Incinerate being shown off right now. It's actually very interesting. As you can see, it's looks like it's a meteor shower type based ability. I think one of the things that's been really interesting to me with looking at Summoner when comparing it to Sorceress is that Summoner and Sorceress are still 2 mages that do both utilize the core elements of lightning, ice, fire, etc. Here's Frost Explosion. And so it's like, even though Sorceress uses magic in the form of spirit, like animal appearances, or they do have their pets that they summon, they still utilize ice, lightning, and fire as their primary types of magic that are used. Here's Ice Arrow. And so it's really interesting that Sorceress and Summoner exist. They're very similar but very different. right? In that regard, that they use the same elements of magic for their playstyles. The main difference with Sorceress is that it's just straight up using the raw form of that magic, and this is lightning burst to round it up, wrap it up. Is that Sorceress is just straight up, you know, utilizing those magic elements in their raw form of fire, ice, and lightning as just a direct use. They're not transferring the magic into a shape or a form or through some other means. It's just the straight up utilization of those elements. So in that regard, there are similarities but differences between the two classes overall. But I do think Sorceress will be very interesting to see on release for our version. But yeah, you can go back to the webpage here. It's on the primary website. You will see Sorceress here. It has replaced Summoner. I had no idea that they would do it in this way. The reason I thought we would never see Sorceress again is because I did not think that they would replace Summoner as a possibility, and I had a feeling they were going to stick to 15 classes. They didn't want to add more classes for release, and so instead of adding a new one and keeping everything, they straight up replace Summoner. So very interesting to see them doing it this way. I will be very curious to see how things play out overall for our game post-release. But yeah, that's going to be all, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you enjoy the content, be sure to like and subscribe, and you can catch us live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Zav. Take care and have a good one.